5 people you must step away from in old age, even if they're family. There comes a time in life when the noise of the world feels heavier than the world itself. When you've walked through enough years, lost enough friends, and buried enough dreams to know that peace is not something that simply comes. It's something you fight to protect. Old age teaches you things that youth can't see. You begin to understand that your energy is a currency, more valuable than money. And there are people, sometimes the ones sitting closest at your table, who will spend it recklessly if you let them. It's not bitterness that changes your circle, it's wisdom. You start to notice the way certain voices leave you lighter and others leave you hollow. You notice how some people add years to your life and others take them away without lifting a finger. In America, we're taught to hold family close no matter what. But the truth is, blood doesn't guarantee kindness. Love doesn't excuse harm. And loyalty doesn't mean sacrificing the last good years you have to someone else's chaos. When you reach these later chapters, every sunrise feels more precious. You don't want to waste them on arguments that don't matter or on people who refuse to grow. You want your home to feel like a safe harbor, not a battlefield. This isn't about cutting people off out of pride. It's about refusing to let anyone, yes, even family, steal the peace you've earned through decades of storms. It's about choosing joy over drama, freedom over obligation, and truth over guilt. Because the older you get, the more you realize time is the one thing you'll never get back. And if you want to spend it well, you have to be brave enough to walk away from those who don't deserve a seat at your table. Number 1. The constant complainers. There's a quiet kind of poison that doesn't come in a bottle, it comes in a voice. The voice that finds the cloud in every silver lining, that can turn a sunny day into a storm just by talking long enough. The constant complainers rarely see themselves as toxic, but they leave you feeling smaller, sadder, and more tired every time you're around them. In your younger years, maybe you brushed it off. You had the energy to argue, to prove them wrong, or to try to cheer them up. But when you reach these later chapters of life, you start to realize every ounce of your energy matters. You don't have the luxury of spending your mornings listening to someone drag you through a litany of everything wrong in the world, in their life, and often in you. Constant complainers are like emotional vampires. They rarely celebrate your wins without finding a way to cast a shadow on them. Buy a new car? They'll tell you about the one that broke down. Plan a trip? They'll warn you about all the bad things that could happen. Even when they pretend to care, it's often just another chance to highlight what's missing or what could go wrong. The danger of keeping these people close in old age isn't just that they make you feel bad, it's that they start to shape your outlook without you realizing it. Day by day, you can become more cautious, more negative, more weary of the world, not because of your own experiences, but because you've been living in someone else's shadow. And here's the truth. In America, especially as we grow older, loneliness is already a real challenge. The last thing you need is company that makes you feel lonelier in their presence than you do when you're alone. The constant complainer doesn't bring comfort. They bring noise that drowns out the gratitude and joy that could fill your days. You might feel guilty for stepping back, especially if that complainer is a sibling, a cousin, or a lifelong friend. But think about this. If every time you leave their presence you feel drained, hopeless, or tense, what is that relationship costing you? You've spent decades carrying burdens, yours and other people's. Now is the time to lay some of them down. It doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you create space where their voice doesn't dominate your days. You answer fewer calls, you shorten the visits, you keep conversations lighter. Or sometimes you step away entirely, not out of cruelty, but out of a deep respect for your own well-being. The constant complainer thrives when they have an audience. But you're not obligated to be that audience, especially when your days are more valuable than ever. Your peace matters. Your health matters. And your joy, your unshakable, hard-earned joy, is worth protecting from anyone who can't help but see the worst in everything. Because here's the truth they won't tell you. When you walk away from the constant complainers, you'll notice something. The air feels lighter. Your shoulders loosen. The silence becomes sweet again. And you'll realize it wasn't the world weighing you down all this time. It was the voice you finally learned to stop letting in. Number 2. The financial leeches. There's a certain kind of person who doesn't see you. They see what you have. Your retirement savings. Your house you worked decades to pay off. The pension check that arrives like clockwork every month. And sometimes, the saddest truth is, that person is family. When you were younger, maybe you felt strong enough to help anyone who asked. You believed in lending a hand, giving the shirt off your back, being the dependable one. But as you age, your resources aren't as easily replaced. What you've saved is what you have, and once it's gone, it's gone. And the financial leech knows that, but they're counting on your kindness to outweigh your caution. They rarely come right out and say, "Give me money." Instead, it's wrapped in guilt, in half-truths, in emotional stories meant to push the right buttons. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious. I know you have it, and I promise I'll pay you back. You're the only one who understands. Sometimes they even disguise it as helping you. You don't need all that space in your house. Why not sign it over so I can take care of it for you? The truth? They're not building a relationship, they're building a pipeline from your bank account to their needs. And if you let them, it won't stop until you put up a wall. In America, where healthcare, housing, and daily living costs keep rising, your savings are your lifeline. The financial leech will never admit that their choices, not your wallet, are the reason they're in trouble. But if you keep stepping in, they never have to face their own consequences. The hardest part is when it's a child, a grandchild, or a sibling. We're taught to put family first, to give without question. But you must remember, giving in ways that harm your own security is not love. It's self-sacrifice without wisdom. If you give away what you need to live, you may one day become the one in need, and there will be no one to help you. Setting boundaries with a financial leech isn't selfish, it's survival. You can offer emotional support without opening your wallet. You can encourage them to seek work, budget better, or find community resources instead of making you their personal bank. And you can do it without guilt, because the truth is, the money you've saved is not just numbers in an account. It's the roof over your head, the medicine in your cabinet, the food on your table. Some will try to make you feel cold for saying no. They'll remind you of the times you helped in the past, hoping to keep you trapped in a cycle of just one more time. But you know better now. You know that part of growing older wisely is protecting the life you've built, so you can live it without fear. When you stop funding other people's bad habits, you give them the chance, sometimes for the first time, to stand on their own. And you give yourself the peace of knowing that your later years will be lived on your terms, not dictated by someone else's emergencies. Because in the end, your money is not just money. It's freedom. It's independence. It's the key to living out your final chapters with dignity. And that's something no one, not even family, has the right to take from you. Number 3, the drama makers. There are people who cannot live without a storm. If there's peace, they'll stir the waters. If there's quiet, they'll light a fire just to watch the smoke. These are the drama makers, the ones who feed on conflict, thrive on gossip, and seem allergic to calm. In your younger years, you may have had the stamina to wade through their mess. You could argue, debate, or even laugh it off. But as you get older, the price of letting them in is too high. Every flare-up, every whispered rumor, every "did you hear what so-and-so said" chips away at the calm you've worked decades to build. Drama makers have a way of pulling you into their chaos, whether you want to be there or not. They call you with the latest family feud. They show up at your door in tears, insisting they just need a minute to vent, but end up unloading an hour's worth of anger about people you don't even see anymore. They drag you into conflicts that have nothing to do with you, then somehow make it your responsibility to pick a side. And here's the danger. Drama is contagious. Spend enough time around it and your heart starts racing faster. Your mind grows restless. Your patience wears thin. What should be a quiet evening turns into hours of replaying conversations, worrying about things you can't control, and feeling like you've stepped into a battle you never agreed to fight. In America, where many seniors already battle stress from health issues, bills, and uncertainty about the future, adding drama into the mix can be a real threat, not just to your peace, but to your health. Studies have shown that constant stress can raise blood pressure, weaken the immune system, and even shorten your lifespan. So when you let drama makers into your life, you're not just risking your mood, you're risking your well-being. It's not always easy to spot them at first. Some drama makers wear the mask of a concerned friend or loyal relative. They frame their gossip as just keeping you informed or claim their conflicts are unavoidable. But pay attention. Do you feel tense, restless, or angry after talking to them? Do they rarely bring you good news without mixing in bad? Do they seem more interested in stirring emotions than solving problems? If the answer is yes, you have to decide how much access they get to your world. That might mean limiting phone calls, keeping conversations short, or politely declining invitations that you know will spiral into a gossip session. Sometimes, it means stepping away entirely, especially if their chaos spills over into your relationships with others. The truth is, peace in your later years is not just about who you invite into your home, it's about who you allow into your mind. The drama maker thrives on reaction. If you don't give it, their fire dies out. But if you keep fueling it with your time and attention, they'll keep coming back for more. You've earned the right to live without unnecessary battles. You've fought enough wars in your life, real ones and emotional ones. You don't need to keep fighting just because someone else isn't ready to live in peace. Let them chase storms somewhere else. Your home, your heart, your remaining years. Those are sacred ground now. And no one, no matter how long you've known them, has the right to turn them into a battlefield. Number 4, the dream crushers. There's a special kind of courage that comes with age. The courage to dream again, even when the world says you've already had your turn. Maybe it's taking up painting. Maybe it's traveling to a place you've never seen. Maybe it's starting a garden, learning to dance, writing that book you've carried inside for decades. But for every dream you have, there's someone ready to tell you it's foolish. Those are the dream crushers, and they can steal more from you than just a good idea. They can rob you of the joy of living. The dream crusher often hides their negativity under the disguise of being realistic. They'll tell you you're too old for that, or why waste your time, or what if something goes wrong. They speak as if their caution is care, but the truth is they're projecting their own fears onto you. They've stopped believing life can still surprise them, so they can't imagine it could surprise you. When you were younger, you might have brushed off their words, maybe even used them as motivation. But in these later years, when confidence can feel fragile, their voices carry more weight than they should. One comment from them can plant a seed of doubt that takes root in your heart, convincing you it's safer to sit still than to try. In America, so many people believe retirement is the end of the story, just a slow fade into the background. But the truth is, these years can be some of the richest and most creative of your life if you protect them from the people who want to shrink them. The dream crushers don't understand that joy doesn't retire. Purpose doesn't retire. Curiosity doesn't retire. If you let them, they'll box you into the role they think you should play: quiet, cautious, predictable. But the years you have now are not a waiting room for the end. They are a stage, and you still get to choose the performance. The most dangerous thing about dream crushers is that they rarely see the damage they cause. To them, they're helping you stay safe. But in reality, they're draining the color out of your life. And one day, if you listen to them too much, you'll realize you've stopped trying new things, not because you couldn't, but because you were afraid of the look on their face when you said you wanted to. Guard your dreams the way you guard your health. Share them only with people who light up when you speak, who say, "You should do it," not "Why bother?" And when the dream crusher starts to speak, remember they're talking about their own limits, not yours. You've already lived through decades of change, heartbreak, and challenge. If you've made it this far, you are strong enough to start something new. You are wise enough to try without fear of failure. And you are free enough to chase the things that make your heart beat faster, no matter who thinks it's silly. The older you get, the more precious each spark of excitement becomes. Don't let anyone smother it. Because dreams are not just for the young, they are for the living. And as long as you're breathing, you are still both. Number 5. The conditional lovers. Some people love you only when it benefits them. Their kindness comes with strings attached, and their affection can disappear the moment you stop giving them what they want. These are the conditional lovers, and they can leave deeper scars than strangers ever could, because they make you question whether the love you thought was real ever existed at all. In your younger years, you might have tolerated it. Maybe you told yourself, that's just how they are. Maybe you were too busy raising kids, working long hours, or putting everyone else first to notice the pattern. But in old age, when your heart craves steady love and your time is too short for games, this kind of relationship becomes impossible to ignore. The conditional lover might be a sibling who only calls when they need help moving or money. It could be a grown child who visits only when there's a holiday gift involved. It could even be a friend who showers you with warmth and praise, right up until you say no to a favor. Their love is a transaction. They give just enough to keep the connection alive, but the moment you stop meeting their demands, their tone shifts. They might guilt you, shame you, or even withdraw completely, leaving you feeling like affection is something you have to earn rather than something freely given. This is dangerous in your later years because it can keep you trapped in cycles of overgiving just to keep from feeling alone. You might say yes when you really mean no, spend money you can't spare, or exhaust yourself emotionally just to keep them close. But love that has to be bought isn't love, it's control. In America, where many seniors already fear isolation, conditional lovers can use that fear to their advantage. They know you value connection, so they dangle it like a prize. The visits, the phone calls, the invitations, they all come with an unspoken price tag. Breaking free from this pattern isn't easy. It means risking their disapproval, maybe even their absence. It means accepting that some people you love deeply may not be capable of loving you back in a healthy way. And it means finding the courage to choose respect for yourself over constant sacrifice for them. The beautiful truth is, when you remove conditional lovers from your life, or at least loosen their grip, you create space for genuine connection to grow. You'll find friends who show up just to sit with you, not to take something from you. You'll notice neighbors, church members, or community groups where kindness flows without a ledger. You'll begin to feel the difference between love that's earned and love that's simply there. You deserve relationships where your worth isn't measured by what you give, but by who you are. You deserve love that stays even when you have nothing left to offer but your company and your heart. And in these precious years, you deserve the freedom to spend your time with those who lift you up, not those who keep you chained to conditions you can never fully meet. Because when you stop accepting conditional love, you finally make room for the real thing. And that kind of love, the kind that holds you without strings, is the only kind worth keeping in the years you have left. Conclusion: protecting your peace in the years that matter most. Old age is not a slow fading into the background. It's the moment you finally see life for what it is. You understand that time is no longer a bottomless well. Every day is a page you can never rewrite, and every relationship is either helping you live fully or quietly taking pieces of you away. Avoiding the constant complainers, the financial leeches, the drama makers, the dream crushers, and the conditional lovers isn't about becoming cold or bitter. It's about finally honoring the truth that your peace is priceless. You've spent decades working, raising families, surviving hardships, and carrying other people's burdens. Now you get to choose deliberately who walks beside you in these final chapters. It will not always be easy. Some of the people you distance yourself from will not understand. They may call you selfish. They may accuse you of forgetting where you came from. But you know better. You're not walking away from love. You're walking away from harm. And in the space that opens, you will find something beautiful: the quiet mornings without tension, the evenings filled with laughter instead of arguments, the company of people who make you feel lighter, safer, freer. You'll rediscover hobbies you put away long ago, dreams you thought had expired, and a sense of joy that isn't tied to anyone's approval. In America, where so many grow old in silence or stress, you have the chance to grow old in peace. That is not a small thing. It is a rare and holy gift. And the best part? It's a gift you can give yourself. Starting today, simply by deciding that you will no longer hand your time and heart to those who cannot treat them with care. Your later years are not a burden, they are an opportunity. An opportunity to live with dignity, to love without fear, to wake up every morning knowing that the people in your life are there because they want to be, not because they need something from you. So guard your peace fiercely. Value your joy the way you value your health. And never forget, you are still the author of your story, and these final chapters can be some of the most beautiful if you choose them well.